I see it.
Somebody with 30 seconds.
Just give me a second. Make sure my phone is on silent. Please make sure your phone is on silent.
It is.
Just making sure. You already knew anyway, so.
Let's see if we see.
All right, so perfect. So we are live. So we are going to start with a 30-second countdown, everyone, to introduce the show, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. Welcome to the Dani Perro Show here tonight in home studio as well. We are so excited. Unfortunately, summer is gone. We are back to school a lot and back to work and any job that we all have in the world and just staying busy, being a mom and everything like that too. So just staying busy and keeping yourself preoccupied. So we are so excited to welcome the wonderful Michele tonight. Now, Bertng, Brett?
Bertng, Brett, yes.
Bertng, Brett, perfect.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
And darling, as we had talked a little bit about off air as well, I know you previously from a few years ago at the Strand for being in such an amazing, tribute band that you guys had done, the Carpenters Remembered. It honestly was incredible. I would love to see something again like that because I feel like you don't get a chance to see that type of music in this world all the time. It's kind of hard to find. But it was just incredible meeting you. And I just remember also getting the opportunity with Lori Davis, who was at the Strand in the box office. She had surprised us. I think me and my dad and my mom with tickets. Or she helped her. And she was incredible. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming to the show. And I'm so glad it was such a wonderful, warm, positive experience. And you're right, that music is so emotional. It's so powerful for the audience. And I think it only becomes more so as time goes on.
It only just begun.
You sound good.
So I want to get started with you before we even talk about the Carpenters Remembered. Let's get to know a little bit about Michele before you were a singer-songwriter, kind of what you were. Maybe you went to school or something for it as well when you were younger. But for yourself, when do you feel like music was a great calling to you? Whether you were a teenager, a young age, you were like, I need to do something with this certain activity. Just to feel.
Well, I was born in Saskatchewan, Canada. I grew up on a farm, and I think music was a big part of my childhood. I had two parents who were very creative, both of them great visual artists, but my dad was also a singer and a guitar and bass player.
Okay.
And also, I think in those small communities, especially, at the time, the communities were connected through sports and through church. And church was really my first kind of intro into music and singing in public. And then, of course, in school, there was, a really wonderful music teacher in elementary school. His name was Brother Thomas, who kind of singled me out and gave me opportunities to perform and compete in the music festival and to do community theater. And so it was something that just spoke to me so much. I just loved all those opportunities. And of course, at the time, I was listening to top 40 pop radio. And of course, the Carpenters were, front and center in the early 70s in particular. But so that was kind of the beginning of it. And then I worked for my very first year out of high school. And that was when I, really identified that I did want to give music a shot. So I then enrolled in music and drama at Dickinson State in Dickinson, North Dakota.
Okay.
And had a wonderful first year of college as a music ed and drama major. And, that year was so wonderful. Just, oh my gosh, so many wonderful performing experiences. I had this wonderful community of people who were into the same things that I was. And then decided to take it to the next level and train in a professional program in a musical theater program in Toronto called Sheridan College Music Theater.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
And so I was studying singing and acting and dance, and it was a very intense training program, but really gave me a really good firm base. But I should also mention that the music program in North Dakota at Dickinson State was a classical music program, and I had some really great training that gave me a very firm base as a classical singer. So I can't say enough how positive that was for my journey as I moved forward. So yeah, I went to musical theater school, and then in the very first 10 years of my career, really spent working as a working actor in musicals, and traveling, doing regional theater, and it was great. But the thing about being an actor is that you're waiting for people to give you a job. And it's so frustrating, you're waiting tables and you're doing, your cater waiter jobs and, temping. And
also doing waitressing as well, like for looking for jobs. I know a lot of people do that on the side.
Absolutely. That was in between jobs. That was what I did. I worked as a waiter, did temp work. And, in those times when I was, not getting necessarily creatively fulfilled and stimulated, I started to look at the opportunities that there were, doing my own thing. And so I started doing, gigs in clubs and, doing some equity co-ops of some shows and really just creating my own work. And from that, my girlfriend, Briar Boak, we were one day just, sitting on the couch having nachos and salsa and, just lamenting how much we wish that we could, sing all those wonderful songs from the 70s that we loved so much. Right. So we put together a show called Where Were You in 72? And we got to sing all those wonderful songs from the 70s. You name it. Captain and Tennille, Elton John, Carly Simon, and of course the Carpenters.
Okay.
And so we did probably about 4.
Because that sounds incredible. And I would also love to see that.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And, we hired our band and, did our rehearsals. And Dani, this is back in the day when we had, to learn lyrics, we actually put the vinyl on the record player and put the needle down and wrote down the lyrics, on paper. This is way before Google and, you can just,
the internet, or the internet was not really born yet.
It was a non-entity. So anyway, Briar and I put together this show, and, we had about 4 or 5 Carpenters songs in the show. And a friend of mine, Jeff, came to the show and he said, Michelle, you should put all the Carpenters music into just one special section because it's so special. And that got me thinking. And, and at the same time, over the years, I'm starting to do my first, wedding gigs with bands. And I'm, again, doing the club dates. I was doing background singing. And people, really started to respond when I was singing pop or the standards. They would say, Michelle, you sound a lot like Karen Carpenter, and of course, this music, I love it. I grew up with it.
Yeah.
And anyway, from there, just started to think about, wouldn't it be cool to have a show that's all Carpenters music, all this beautiful music? And so that was stuck in the back of my head. And then along the way, I've had this wonderful career. I've been able to travel all over the world. I've worked on, cruise ships. I've worked in hotels in foreign lands and doing all sorts of different things, my own cabaret shows. And I was actually on tour with a show celebrating the music of Johnny Cash. It's called The Man in Black with Sean Barker, and the original producer was Kurt Brown. And I was in the original cast of that. And we toured all over the US. And one time we were in a theater, and there was this wonderful stage manager by the name of Mark Brett working there. And he and I, got, connected and had this long distance love affair, me in Toronto and him in Connecticut. And at one point I had sent him a recording I made of the Carpenters song, Merry Christmas, Darling. And I had him listen to it. And it was very different from what I'd been doing with the Johnny Cash show. And he said, wow, Michelle, your voice, I just love this. This sounds so great. And I said, yeah, I've always had this dream of doing a show that's all Carpenters music. And Mark said, Michelle, let's do it. And so began our journey into creating this show. And my gosh, Dani, it was 15 years ago that we had our very first show of this. And it was just a little club, a little cabaret club in Toronto called Statler's. And it was myself and a wonderful pianist by the name of Rob White, and just the two of us. And we just, Mark and I really felt we wanted to put the songs up, see what the reaction would be, and kind of, get a feel for it. And it was just a small club. There were 50 people, standing room only. And, at the end of the night, I think every person that was there came up to me at some point and said, you made me cry, or, oh my gosh, I just remember Close to You, my mom singing that song to me. So everybody had these really emotional connections to those songs. And, that's what you're looking for in this entertainment business. You want to connect with people. So that was the beginning. And my gosh, it's been just an incredible journey since. I'm actually going to turn you up a little bit. There we go. There you are.
Fine. I wanted to know a little bit prior to you wanting to look more into doing the Carpenters Remembered. Was this where you felt like you had to, were you listening to Karen's voice a lot and trying to make sure, as opposed to you already had you sounded like her already, but you were trying to do your best to be.
Yeah, I think the thing for us was, there is only one Karen Carpenter.
Of course.
There's only one. For me, what's that?
I said, we're so sad that she's not with us
anymore. I know. There's only one Karen Carpenter, but for me, it was always such a compliment when people said, you've got a voice like Karen Carpenter. I think that, my gosh, what a great thing for a singer to hear, because she was so distinctive. For me, I wanted to do the show as myself, and really, honoring the Carpenters, both Karen and Richard, for their music. But for also, what I wanted to have was the audience to feel like they were in the middle of those records, that they would be sitting in the seat and they would hear, that iconic sax solo in Rainy Days and Mondays, that they'd, the beautiful Richard Carpenter piano playing. And so what I really wanted to do was perform those songs with the phrasing, mostly the phrasing that Karen had, because she had such a gift for spinning out a lyric when she sang. And then, of course, wanted to have as much warmth in my tone and clarity, just like she had, so that the audience really could feel that they were, captured in a record of the Carpenters.
And the emotional aspect of watching perform many years ago, as we know that my family and I got a chance to see you. It was the fact that it was so emotional to me, right? My age, my generation doesn't know who that
Awesome.
is. So it's
Yeah.
it's sad to say they don't know who that is, and they should, because she's a legend, and to this
She
day
is.
will be forever. But to this day, they wouldn't know what that is. So to me, I get the opportunity to enjoy it, share it, cherish it here on the station and my radio show. And it's just amazing that you get the opportunity still today to go out and perform and sing these iconic songs and people that we know and love and miss. I think when I did see you, I told you, right off the bat, very emotional. You definitely felt like you were in the room with her. I mean, again, me being my age, I shouldn't know who she is. But with my dad having the station for many years, I grew up with it.
Bless that dad of yours.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Right here. So it's incredible, because if you listen to her music still to this day, I think you can get butterflies from her voice.
Oh, I think you're right. I still do, Dani. When I listen to her, I still get a,
I got that when you were performing.
Aww.
It was the fact that you felt like you were kind of almost channeling her. She was like above you, or in the room with you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Exactly. So it's that type of thing where it was just incredible. And another person that does keep commenting as well, I want to just give a shout out to Sharon Priscilla Vera. She's also, she's a singer-songwriter, but I think she also does Karen
and Olivia Newton-John.
Karen Carpenter as well, and Olivia Newton-John.
And Olivia. Oh my gosh, they were very good friends, Karen and Olivia.
Yeah. So, and it's just, it's incredible, because anyone that has a voice, right, and they're doing what they love and cherish so much to share with the world, you're giving us people that we miss, that's gone, that we still can listen and hear their music. Still to this day, it's just nice that you get that.
It is. It's wonderful. And we've had, the show has gone through such a growth over all the years. That very first show I did with just a piano player. Yep. And then we had our second incarnation of the show, which was a 4-piece band that also sang background vocals. And then once Mark and I decided to get married and join our lives together, we were going to be based in the U.S. And we said, let's find a band based in the U.S. And actually, through one of my fellow backup singers that I worked with in the Johnny Cash show, she told me about Harry Sharp, who became our music director. And Harry has this incredible talent for, pulling all of those pieces together with the arrangements that Richard created. And, really, I mean, I think that it was a really big part of our success was having Harry arrange the show and put his stamp on it musically. And then we've got this wonderful 6-piece band that we travel around the country with. And so, yeah, it really is. It really has been incredible. We've had all these wonderful opportunities. Our very first show was in a cornfield at a casino, in a cornfield.
Oh my goodness!
In Iowa, the February Valentine's weekend in 2013. And from there, we've played multiple times in Las Vegas with engagements there, and then all across the country at beautiful performing arts centers and beautiful theaters like the Strand, where you saw us.
Yes.
No, it's been a real adventure.
Now, when I saw you, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have my mom and dad check with me. Was it 6-piece? How many people were in your band?
We might have had our 5-piece then. Yes, because there have been places where we've had.
I think it was
5-piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember how many and who was there, because you had a drummer, bass player, yourself.
Yeah, piano player, of course. Yeah, and then in our big show we've got piano, bass, drums, guitar, and then we have a gentleman who plays reeds, all the different clarinet and tenor sax and soprano sax, a flute, and then we have a beautiful background singer.
There wasn't
there. We might not have had the reeds player at the show that you saw.
Got it. Okay. And then your beautiful outfits.
Ah, thank you.
Because that is who Karen Carpenter was. She was very she accessorized a lot.
She's very stylish. Yes, she was.
Definitely. So I think you had like something super shiny and sparkly. It was gorgeous.
Yes, yes. It's all about the sequence. All about the sequence.
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was definitely incredible. Now, moving forward, because this was a show that you guys did and you liked it and you definitely appreciated, building your band bigger, better, and just growing together. Was this then you were looking to record newer music?
Actually, we
Mhm.
did a recording of We've Only Just Begun, Carpenters Remembered.
I need that, by the way. I do not have that one, Michelle.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to send it to you, darling.
Would love to play it on the station, as you know. So yeah,
that's wonderful. Oh, absolutely. So we recorded this in 2015.
Okay.
And it's funny because Mark, my husband, our producer, and Harry, our music director, Harry Sharp, both of them said, we've got to record a CD. We've got to record a CD. We've got to record a CD. And I said, guys, it's been done to perfection. This is madness. Me, singing Karen on a CD. Anyway, they really kept at me. And so I finally acquiesced and we recorded the CD. And I'm so glad we did, because what it's been for us, it's almost been like a business card for venues and for, radio people and agents and that kind of thing. And then also, we were very true to the arrangements of the Carpenters, but it's got more of a live feel because we're doing the live arrangements.
Okay.
So that I think has made it special. And then also, I mean, my gosh, the musicians that we work with are just incredibly talented. They've worked with a who's who in the business. And, the whole idea of having such great players was to recreate those arrangements. Karen and Richard's bands that played on their recordings were members of the Wrecking Crew. So the very best recording musicians that were around in the 70s. So it was really important that we had that quality there. So yes, we have. We've Only Just Begun. Carpenters Remembers. And you can get that on my website, michellebertingbrecht.com.
And what songs do we have on there? How many tracks?
Oh my gosh, we've got 10 tracks.
We're gonna go the whole shebang. Come on.
The whole shebang. Yeah. We have 10 tracks. We start with We've Only Just Begun, which was the Carpenters' signature song. And it's the song that I sang at my very first gig when I sang at my cousin Mary Ann's wedding in Humboldt, Saskatchewan, when I was 15 years old. Okay. So it all comes full circle. And then, of course, Top of the World, which is just such a wonderful, happy tune. Actually, it was an album track for the Carpenters, but it became so popular that then they released it as a single. And it's such a wonderful, bubbly, beautiful message. I love singing that one. And then we've got Superstar, which is the Don't You Remember You Told Me You Love Me, Baby.
Right. You're allowed to sing if you want to. You know that.
It's so hard to All right. And then, of course, Rainy Days and Mondays, which is one of my absolute favorites.
That's
written by Paul Williams and Roger Nichols, who the Carpenters recorded We've Only Just Begun, which was written by them, and a few others as well. And then there's Goodbye to Love, which is, oh my goodness, that's a tearjerker, and it has an incredible guitar solo at the end of it. And the Carpenters really, for that, it was really the first time that a ballad and a rock guitar solo were combined. So, it's what they call a power ballad. So the Carpenters were there first. Richard, with his incredible talent, really had this brilliant idea, and it's, legend. And then, of course, Merry Christmas, Darling, one of the most beautiful Christmas songs that was ever written.
Yes. I'd probably put that song on repeat all the time for Christmas, but it's Christmas time. We love it. We need it.
Any time of the year.
Yes.
And then Please, Mr. Postman, which was one of their biggest selling worldwide hits.
Yes.
And it was the Marvelettes originally. And the Carpenters had such a great big hit with it. And then Yesterday Once More, of course. This is the song that celebrates the music of the 60s. And They Long to Be Close to You, the Carpenters' first #1 hit.
Yeah.
And then it finishes with a beautiful song. I just love this one. It's called For All We Know.
Oh, I love that.
That's, yeah.
And there you have. And this CD, by the way, is available on all the streaming platforms as well. So you can stream it if you're into that thing.
Which is great for all you guys as well. But I guess I'm very old fashioned that I prefer a CD in my car. Because my car plays CDs. And I love listening to CDs in my car. I guess me and Chris are old fashioned. We will do that. So
it's my favorite place to listen to music is the car.
Yeah.
I'm so with you. I know exactly what you mean. It's
so
great.
We definitely greatly will appreciate. We'll get a CD from you for sure, especially.
Oh, you got it.
I know that Sharon Priscilla Vieira, who's also tuning in as well, I mentioned previously, she also does Karen Carpenter and Olivia.
Yeah.
She did say that she loves doing Karen Carpenter and Olivia, but she said she'll get a CD from you as well. And she said that she loves all those songs. Oh, she said she needs a band.
Yeah. I know a good one.
So it's incredible. And the thing is, what I love the most is when I have you guys, artists, musicians like you on my show, the collaborations you get from a lot of the activity and the fans that I have tuning in are a lot of musicians that I'm friends with, and everybody's just looking for new things down the route.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love getting the opportunity, so you can just grow, do different things, collab. I mean, any artist loves to do collaboration nowadays. It's so much fun.
I'll tell you, it's been so wonderful. That's been one of the best things that's come out of doing our show are the people that we've met and the other artists that we've met. It's been so awesome. And I can't say it enough. We've met the best people, the nicest people you can even ever imagine. And it's almost like we've got this, we've got our posse with us, and sometimes they could come to a live show, and if they can't, they always leave a beautiful comment. And we've been so lucky, so fortunate.
And you were able to get a lot of connections throughout the industry, maybe work with different people, bigger people names.
Yes.
Or too.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate. Mark had this great career before we produced our show. Mm-hmm. Working behind the scenes in the business. And he's literally worked with everybody from Peter Noon to David Cassidy to, just name somebody from the 70s or 80s or 60s.
Davy Jones?
Davy Jones. Yes. Okay. Davy Jones even.
Okay.
The Monkeys, yes. Anyway,
my mom is here naming names.
Cool.
So yeah, she's naming, and you had said David Cassidy, and I know that she loves him so much. So
oh my gosh!
Okay.
I know, I loved him too. But the cool thing was that a lot of these people actually had known the Carpenters or worked with them or had been in the business at the same time.
Yep.
They just had so many cool things to say about working with them, about their success, about their talent. And then they were just so encouraging to us with our project. Because the truth is, it's hard to launch a new project.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we had kind of against us was that we would say, we've got this wonderful Carpenters show. And a lot of agents would say, well, I don't know if that'll work. I mean, it's all ballads. They kept saying that they didn't think it would work. So we really, I'm telling you, Mark was absolutely tireless promoting the show and calling up every single person, that was in the business, every theater owner, vendor, the casinos, you name it. So Anyway.
Well, yeah, it was you to where you are now.
Yes, exactly. And we've been very fortunate.
And what you do. And besides also doing the Carpenters Remembered, as we do know you from, what else are you looking for into your career? You are doing more jazz music and stuff.
Oh, you know what? Actually, thank you for mentioning that because I did have a long career before we ever launched the Carpenters Project. And, I sang for many years. I sang with a wonderful band of guys in Toronto. Sang jazz. And I actually finally, it was something I wished to do for so many years and finally did it, recorded a CD. Here we are, Jazz, Torch, and Ancient Pop.
Oh,
and it's
beautiful.
Really,
that's the picture you sent us. Yes, I know that picture.
There you go. And the cool thing about, this kind of mix of music is we're talking about, the great jazz standards, the wonderful classic pop tunes, and Torch, those heartbreaking songs that you know and love. So I worked with the guys for so many years, and I'd always wanted to record a CD. So we finally did in November of 2023. We released it, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we've had some really lovely support for it. And the Carpenters fans of our show, they've embraced it as well. So I can't thank them enough.
That's nice. And you had the opportunity to do different things with your career.
Yes, exactly.
You have a chance to do jazz, pop, anything your heart desires for your next music venture. It's just exciting to see what's next for you, you know?
Because thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, you also, did this come out in November last year?
Yes. Yeah, November 23.
This one came out in November. Now, how long was it in the process for you to?
Oh my gosh. It was well, honestly, when if I look at these songs that are on it, we've been, myself and the guys, the trio that recorded it with me. I mean, we've been singing these songs, playing these songs, for weddings, for engagement parties, for bar mitzvahs, for, all club dates, all sorts of things, So the nice thing about it, and that was really fun about recording it, is these arrangements kind of had been cooking for years, It'd be like, oh, let's do that ending, or what do you say we take it back at the bridge, or whatever. And so when we actually got in the studio to record it, it was so much fun. It was like all of these songs are like old friends, really good old friends, and playing them together in the studio was just awesome. Oh my gosh.
And just to explain a little bit for anyone that's tuning in for the show, on the album is more of covers? Or
oh, yes. I'm not a songwriter. These are all covers, and they're songs from, they're from the jazz standard songbook to pop, pop hits like Undone, which is something from the Guess Who, a great Canadian band. And, my gosh, I've even got a Spanish tune on here called Frenesy. And then my co-producer, Jay Beamer, on this record, he said, Michelle, we've got to do a Carpenters tune, but let's do it in our own arrangement, So I was like,
okay,
okay, let's do it. So we did Close to You, and we did Jay and Rob Fowler, who was the piano player. They put together a beautiful arrangement of that tune, our own spin on the song,
Okay.
So.
Which is
and then Drew Burston was the bass player on the record as well. My boys from TO.
What'd you say, Michelle?
My boys from TO, from Toronto.
Now, I wanted to say, out of being part of the Carpenters Remembered, obviously you love all of her songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a number one, number two? Can I have you pick? What's one that you love to sing if somebody asks, are you ready to perform a Carpenter song?
I really do love Rainy Days and Mondays.
It's a beautiful song.
I love it. I love For All We Know. Another really wonderful song is a cover that the Carpenters did of the Beatles song Ticket to Ride. It was actually their first single.
Oh.
And what's really cool about this song, it's, the Beatles version, I'm sure. He's got a ticket to ride. It's an up-tempo tune. And
yes. No,
the
I know.
Carpenters arrangement, Richard did this incredible arrangement, recreating the song as this heart-wrenching ballad with this beautiful piano introduction. My gosh. And you know what is so amazing to me is that Karen recorded that when she was a teenager. I mean, she was 19 years old when she sat in the studio and sang that song. And there's so much in that vocal performance, so much wisdom, so much emotion. And it was their first single. I mean, this is the kind of talent we're talking about. Just outrageous talent.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So, but I'm sorry.
Tell her my friend Terry Draper from Toronto.
Terry, he's my friend too.
From Car 2, he says hi. I just.
Oh my God.
There you go. Okay.
Terry, isn't that cool? Terry actually, of course, he's from that fantastic band Klaatu, and the Carpenters recorded the song calling occupants of interplanetary craft.
Yeah.
Anyway, and along the way, Mark, our producer, he thought he got it in his head that he wanted to find Klaatu. So he somehow found an email address for Terry. And, meanwhile, I'm just like, oh my God, you're out of your mind. What are you doing? He doesn't want to hear from you. And sure enough, Mark sends his email and he got right back to us and said, oh, I'd love to see the show. And this sounds great. And la, la, la. Anyway, so sure enough, we got to meet Terry and his beautiful wife, Anna. And anyway, we've had some fun times together. I even recorded on one of his CDs, sang on one of his CDs. And we've seen him. He's come a few times to our shows. He even braved an incredible storm in this last December when we were on our Christmas tour. It was like, oh my gosh, he made it.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow.
But he's awesome. And I love, that song, Calling in Occupants of Interplanetary Craft. I mean, what an incredible song. And the Carpenters, I mean, they had a huge hit with it.
Yeah.
Now, Michele, did you ever get a chance to see the Carpenters live or ever get a chance to meet them?
You know what? I never did. I grew up in such a small, on a farm in the middle of, the waving wheat fields on the prairie. So I know that Karen and Richard did make it through Saskatchewan, but I never got to see them. But I'll tell you what, we had the most amazing experience in April. It was the 55th anniversary convention for the Carpenters' first album, and it was being held in Downey. And would you believe that on the very last night of the convention, we were having this special dinner, and there was an announcement that there was a special surprise, and guess who walked in? Richard Carpenter. Richard Carpenter.
Whoa!
I know, it was insane. We were in the same room with him, and he sat down with a wonderful guy named Chris May, who wrote a book with Mike Lennox, Sidoni Lennox, and Richard wrote a book about the Carpenters recordings that came out. I think it was last year or the year before. Anyway. So here we have Richard walk into the room and the reaction, because of course, everybody who was at the Carpenters convention were the biggest fans ever, right? Everybody is just like all Carpenters all the time. Yeah. So it was incredible. So Richard sat down with Chris May and, just discussed things about the different recordings. And he was in good humor. He was funny as all heck. And it was just a thrill. It was just a thrill to be there in the same room with him and to hear him talk about their career and about their recordings. And it was awesome. He was there with his wife, Mary, and we all gathered together for a great big picture. And wow. It was cool. So I've never had the opportunity to meet Richard one-on-one.
Okay.
But certainly, I've written to him over the years, sent him our CD. La, 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 la. There it is. Sent him our CD. And, my gosh, it would be for years, I thought it'd be so awesome if he saw our show, it would be awesome for me. Maybe it wouldn't be so awesome for him. He did lose his beautiful sister, his counterpart creatively.
But I'm sure the music is what he loves to listen to or something of that.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope he would know how much we appreciate the music and how much we honor them, how much we respect what they gave us and how thankful we are. It's been an incredible, I mean, can you imagine when we started this 15 years ago? No, I would have never imagined we'd still be doing the show, So, I mean, what a journey it's been. I've never had a project that for that many years. And
That's good.
It's been a gift. My husband and I, we've been able to work together and travel together. What a gift that has been for us. And like I said, we've just met the greatest people and had an awesome time.
Now, do you have any upcoming shows, whether or not it's just for yourself, like you and your covers, or do you have the Carpenters remembered? Or
we do. We've got some things coming up. We've got Christmas. We've got some dates falling in for that. One I would like to mention, especially one of our favorite places we play, the Mohegan Sun.
Oh, wow.
In Uncasville, Connecticut. We'll be there with our Christmas show on December 21st. And our Christmas show is called Merry Christmas, Darling, Carpenters Christmas. And it is a mix of course, those beautiful Christmas standards, Merry Christmas, Darling, of course, being top, numero uno. The Carpenters had 2 beautiful Christmas records, and they also did 2 Christmas television specials. So there's so much beautiful music to choose from, and we throw in their biggest hits as well. And then in the new year, we've got, we just had a confirmation. It'll be our first time in Folsom, California. So we're looking forward to that. And we'll also be back at some point next year at the Riverside Resort in Laughlin, Nevada. I think we're going to be back at Nelson Hall in Cheshire, Connecticut. And then, if you're interested, our shows are listed on my personal website, michellebertingbrett.com, and also on our website for the Carpenters show. We've only just begun show.com.
And anything close to New Jersey, Eastern Standard?
Not at the moment, but let's cross our fingers, because the cool thing about playing New Jersey is the audiences are just on fire. They're so
We're ready whenever you are.
But the enthusiasm and the reactions and the warmth, oh my gosh, it's one of the best places to play. New Jersey is aces in our books.
Now, you said you played at a casino. Could you guys reach out to Parks in PA, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, which casino is called Parks?
Parks Casino? Yeah, Philadelphia.
PARX.
Oh, okay.
Or X?
I'll mention that to Mark, definitely. But yeah, we played lots of casinos.
That's not that far from us, and I love the casino, but I'd come to also support you versus gambling.
Wonderful.
It's a double thing.
Yeah. The Strand, she went to the Strand. We saw you at the Strand.
We've been back there. Actually, we've been there twice, and it's such a beautiful theater. Oh my gosh. Our bass player took the most gorgeous pictures of the theater. And I love it. I love those theaters. It's, you just think of all the you think of all the shows and all the people who've been on that stage and the audiences. It's magical.
Where they stood and sweat.
Yes.
You're standing right there. As a musician, I think that's incredible. Now, where do you feel like you would see yourself within another 2-3 years? Do you think you would have maybe, because I know you said that you do not write your own music, but I beg to differ. I have a feeling you would be incredible at it. Do you think you would lean into that for yourself? Any independent?
I did it when I was a teenager. When I was a kid, I did. My gosh, though, I just don't know how I could. I've sung the most beautiful, incredible songs in my career, written by the greatest songwriters of our time. I just, it's just not something I see as my own personal talent.
Would you need help with it?
I'll continue to. And
great, that could help you. That's great at songwriting. My dad.
Okay, that's right. You are a songwriter, right?
So that's something you can lean into and just see for your future. Just see what you.
Well, you never know. You never know what the future holds. For me, we'll continue with our show, and of course, any chance I get to sing those wonderful jazz, torch, and ancient pop tunes, I'll take that.
Of course.
But yeah, I've been very lucky. I've got to see the world singing from my supper, which isn't bad for a gal from Saskatchewan. Farm girl from Saskatchewan, right?
That you can always look into if that's something else. It's always incredible singing covers and different types of music, but as an artist for yourself, getting a chance to.
Are you a songwriter, Dani?
So I think when I was younger, I did write too, mid-teenage years.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of them were incredible. They probably got thrown away, but it's fun to rhyme. And I know every single musician out there just writes a poem and turns it into a song. So
yes, that's a good point.
It can't be that too complicated, especially because he has his brand new album that he just released.
I'm going to be soon, not now.
Awesome.
So, and he makes it seem like it's a piece of cake.
It's
so it's going to be easier for anyone.
Right now I'm writing 2 or 3 songs probably a day.
Oh my gosh.
It's just crazy because there's so many ideas. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to write.
Awesome.
So there's so many ideas. Oh, I better write about this. Oh, I better write about that.
But it's for you too, Michelle. You have an idea. You can collaborate with Gino and see if there's something you would like to do.
Gino, who are your influences? Who are your songwriter influences?
You, everybody I play. I mean, most of my songs, I would say basically are 70s influenced, 80s influenced, a very little 80s, but then there's a little bit of everything. Yeah, I mean, just
cool.
I write from my heart, and I write from what I feel. I write from emotions. I write from a place of where I want to be, where I want to be happy. You know, that crystalline palace or the beautiful waters, and
where you see yourself next.
Yeah. It's
manifestation.
It's
you know what this is, I'm sure.
And I'm working with the film industry.
I do.
4 or 5 different film companies.
Oh, that's great.
Get some music in there soon, and I'm going to be working with other artists to get their music in there soon. So
very cool.
Stay in touch, please.
Well, I will do that. And don't you feel we're so lucky that we came up in the 70s? I really feel like that music, we're so lucky.
I was very
to have it.
I mean, I always think I would have been better off in the 50s or the 60s.
Yeah.
I grew up in 61. I did have the whole year, all 10 years of the decade, all 9 years of the decade. But I had the whole 10 years of the 70s, and it was just an amazing, amazing time.
Sure it was. I wasn't born yet, but I love the music.
You think we went from Motown, country, to disco.
Yes.
You know, and all this other stuff in between, which was just absolutely amazing.
It was
amazing. Every song that I rectify with is probably songs that, like you said, from the Carpenters. I love all their stuff. You know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Every song. Goofus. Yeah. Nobody knows Goofus, right?
That's right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So many great songs. We are so lucky. So many great songs. Yes. So Dani, I appreciate you encouraging me. You never know. I mean, you never know.
I had like a little vision that might be something you might be doing within the next year. So
all right.
If that's something you see yourself doing, don't get scared.
I can't say honestly that it's something that I've seen for myself, but I mean, you never know. Life is long, right? And it's good to be testing your other creative muscles.
It's like being busy and just enjoying what you're doing. You can always put your foot in any different path you like.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
Try different things.
And Michelle, I will say my songs are all of positive affirmations.
Oh,
they give you strong positive thoughts. They're healing to the mind and the emotion, to the positivity of your life, and I always stress on that. And I'm going to create all these songs as well in a healing frequency, so your body.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so awesome!
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I've got great compliments from LL Cool J's, actually his producer. He loves the songs that I wrote, and that's only a little bit of them. I wrote like 40 songs so far, and I'm writing like 2 or 3 every day. So by the end of next year, I'll have another 500 or 600 songs.
Oh my gosh, you're on fire! That New Jersey situation.
Yeah, but you know, it's something different you can do. You know, and it's always super exciting. But like I said, I'm super thankful that I also had the opportunity to have you today. I really would love you to come back to New Jersey when you're around the area again. You know,
you'll be the first person I tell. You'll be the first person.
It has been 6 years. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, honestly.
Wow.
But that was the last time we all saw you perform live.
Unbelievable. It feels like yesterday.
And I remember, I even told my parents this. I went up to you and I said, I'm going to get her on my radio show. Aww. I think I talked to your husband first.
Yeah, we did.
To get the okay before I reached you, if I'm not mistaken.
The thing is, always reconnect or connect with people that you meet, because you never know who you're meeting.
I think I even wore my press pass that day. And it said DJ Dani.
Yep.
But now I'm Dani Perro.
Yeah.
Remember? Yes.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure to chat with you.
And you know, the most benefit of it for yourself is letting other people know around the world the music that you do sing and what you can do next. You never know who can contact you after the show and be like, oh, you do remember Carpenters Remembered? Oh, wow, I'm having a show in California next month. I needed you. Come on out. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
It is true. We have, you know, we're so connected internationally now, more than we could have ever dreamed, you know, back in the 70s. It's
anybody
crazy.
can call you out.
Yeah, and when you see, who's listening to your songs or your videos or whatever on YouTube or on streaming, it's, from what countries, it's like, wow, that's so cool.
But let's talk a second beforehand, because streaming wasn't huge when you were still coming out, and then the internet and everything.
No.
So it was
it's
more
really
like
recent.
people going to shows, right?
Yes.
And showing support, right?
Oh yeah.
Because internet wasn't around. It wasn't really around till I was older, anyways.
It's been around, but it's just not.
It was like it was a seed, like I
Mhm.
said in the beginning. It was like a very little seed that kind of got planted, and it became bigger than that. But it was like people would go to the shows, give you the support, you'd enjoy it, and CD players, tape records, vinyls. That's all that it was. Nothing was streaming. Now everything is streaming, and you purchase this, purchase that. You get less money, royalties.
It's very. It's I feel very grateful that we have a show that we perform live, because it's a tough time for people in music, and especially for musicians to earn a living. It's really tough. I'm like I said, I'm grateful that we have a live show that we can perform. But yes, what an incredible time, in the music business. Who would have ever thought, the way things have, changed and grown and developed.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It definitely has, but we're all going through it together. So
we are. Well, and I can't say enough how grateful I am to the people who purchase our CDs and support our music, because it really does help. I mean, I think it's some outrageous number of streams that you have to get in order to make $20, right?
Crazy.
So just to have that support a lot at our live shows, people who buy our CD, I just am always like, thank you.
I think my favorite thing is buying a CD and a shirt, because I love the merchandise as opposed to support the artist. Also, I just love having a shirt with somebody's name on it. It's fun. You're promoting them,
Oh my gosh, my husband, he has got zillions of shirts with band's name. I mean, it's outrageous. He'll never wear them all. You know what I mean? Like, they'll never wear out. He's got stacks and stacks and stacks of them. But, every one of them with a wonderful memory of a great concert or a great band or
support.
And supporting the artist. Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
That's definitely a big part of it. Well, like I said, I really do appreciate you being here. Incredible talking to you again. Doc, do you have anything close up?
Yeah, I just got to remember that most of the stuff, like even me, 63 now, this is my legacy. Whatever from here on that I make or record or publish or get in a movie or TV, they're all rememberings. People remember music like the 70s. We'll never forget, because we were around that time. But what about the people that are just growing up now? They will never hear them.
Told her.
That's why I created this radio station
to so awesome.
Bring that music to people, and music, like ours. Like, who would play my music unless I start playing it? But then people are like asking for it. They want to hear it. It's not even
so great.
But that's how you promote something. You went right to get people to promote it. And
well, God bless you for doing that, because my gosh, it's
God bless me.
That is it is. It's a wonderful thing. You're sharing this beautiful music, and every now and then at our shows we do have a young couple of kids who are there. And my gosh, how do you know the music? Or my grandmother played it for me. Or Or, they say, I discovered Karen Carpenter on YouTube, and it's wild. Yeah. So it's great work that you're doing. And thank you for helping promote our shows and my music. I can't thank you both enough. And Dani, you're such a beautiful, vibrant soul. It just comes through in everything you do.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish you luck for everything. Please let us know.
And I can't wait to hear your dad's music.
Oh, I'll send you some.
I will.
Yeah.
Or if you have
fabulous,
anything
fantastic
looking for that you're maybe want to try to write or talk to, you can always collaborate. And he can.
Yeah, I'm going to need a woman on tour to sing some of the female vocals.
There you go.
It's me singing, but enhanced vocals, AI female, so it's not me.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. Beautiful.
All right.
Thank you very much, Michelle. It was amazing talking to you. Have a good rest of your night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Thank you, Dani.
Okay, you're welcome, Michelle. Stay on one second when we end.